Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind Die, and we're gonna do the clear view talk. And basically, what you need to know is that with everything that has happened over the last 1 to 3 weeks, and we're going into next week a little bit already, even though it's about December 3rd that I'm recording this, that you just can't even understand how it's still playing out. So as I see here as it plays out, that there's something about here in this town that there's a gift. There's a gift of something that is known, and it's a power that be that hides. And sometimes gifts are hidden. And when we actually put it into light and how it is in our daily life and antics and in our employment and anything of that nature, that you have to say, like, why can't we just put it out there? Well, sometimes things need to actually rest and settle. Like, it's so overwhelming. You have to let it settle down on what actually is true and what actually is real and how much the public can handle things. So when I actually see how big government, down at Capitol Hill in DC to other states' capitals and how it all plays out and all the energy flows through, you just can't understand how uh, timeliness can be a key. So when you actually look at it in a formidable way, you have to say it in a way unknown. So when you actually look at it, it got nasty over the last 3 weeks. So, as I see it for the next week, I do see, business as due. I do see, the normal antics of the towns. I do see some recovery. I do see more talk of hostage relief. I do see more talk of a hurricane relief. I do see something about a snowstorm relief also by the end between now, December 3rd to the 14th. Somewhere just can't even see. I don't hear anything about the Beltway affecting us, but when I actually sit here and I'm taking a breath, I'm looking at this just as a psychic. There was something given, but also planted, and this is the King of Roses. So when I actually see summer and winter with this Five of Forces card, it is a fall. It is a fall of something, but really, it is the public and everyone working together to be the true master artisan, to get it all together legally and lawfully and gently. So when I actually see the King of Keys in reverse, there's no marching in per se, but there is noise and it's heard loud and clear. It's something that is documented on what should do in everything that we do. And I see people actually looking at last will and testimonies and conservatorships, and I'm seeing probate, and I'm seeing old records like being dug out on what is proper to do. That's the Akashic Library. So when we actually look at like zoning and commission, we actually look at lines. And when you look at lines, it actually is energy on how old everything is in areas, especially wooded towns, old towns, that you could actually make the large mark of the town on the lines and have it all through. And when I actually see the lots and the blueprints, I can say these lines are so old for the properties, and that will actually affect everything in the town. So when I actually look through everything again, all the way down, I say, so they're giving up land, other countries? Was it ours properly? That's actually the talk. So when I actually see bird's nest, I don't see anything affiliate like. I actually see a spring renewal, and that means something in politics and in towns and up to I don't know why I'm seeing vehicles actually. This is something over the next like 1 to 2 weeks. This is wishes fulfilled. This is a really good like ushering in of time of winter where it's hard on small communities to where it feels like nastiness in the city where the winter comes in and you can't get anything done because either one, they're sick, there's guidelines, and there's anything else that prohibits us properly on getting in timeliness. So when I actually see Hilarion, which is actually looking around most, you just can't even do much. Hilarion in this card actually really sees doing everything and anything and something and nothing in the card, where they're counseling, even in a church, and speaking to ancestors on what they need to do properly. So, there really is not much of a preparation to get things done when I see right through the 14th. But, a true comes to a no. There is a difference of two worlds that is affecting everything where you can't understand. So when I see it, there is no karmic trench. There's no war per se, but something came through and had to be had. So, as I look at it, when it comes to town politics, even to neighborly politics, at least for myself, I say, did you talk to me first? Did you politely talk to me first? Did you respectfully talk to me first? Or did you just call it in? That's all you need to know. So that's usually where my beef is. So when that actually plays out, you have to say, is there grievances? There's grievances, but I feel like everything will be malleable once things actually come to light properly. There's better ways and classy ways and legal ways of having a point across towards anyone else that might have been impeded you instead of, keeping the kiln running to the kettle of the pot. So when we actually say this, they say, "Oh my God, you were speaking American, 3 years ago, and now you're speaking Cockney." And I said, "Yeah, I've always spoken Cockney. I always speak gentle. I change it in influx, but really it was post-injury." And then when they say, "My goodness, can't even get it in your mouth." No, you're not supposed to. So in reality, how do you explain that? It really was injury. It put me right back to my soul voice. So let's actually look at the Star State Oracle on this Clearview talk on how that conversation of anything else goes through right to the big city. All right. Just know that they're looking at this new Earth thing. I keep hearing one world, and I'm not keen on it correctly. But there's something about it's happening and hold the vision. When I hear this, I hear trust the timing, trust the wave that you come on. Time is not running out. And when, I hear the term, I'll see you on the new beach, you just couldn't even do it. Soul plan. So these are some things that just are remembered when we go about our daily life as we're handling everything instinctively and intuitively. The fated life and the destiny life is so different and too pronounced, too denounced that you just couldn't even do it at all. Hadarian energy and codependency and boundaries. You can have healthy boundaries in any lane, even to an apartment flat, as I say. But when you actually go about it in a way unknown to be renowned, you have to say, what is the motive of the kill? So when you actually are saying, you know, post COVID, you do have community, you do have physical connection, you do have isolation. I don't want to see anything else as something, and it's not premonition, it's not a foretelling or anything like that, like the 80s and 90s when HIV AIDS was running rampant and nobody could touch each other. So when I actually look at this and I say, you know, serve the world by being you, you really could do two things at once to maybe three or four and say, I got it. I got it all. That is what the world needs right now is just silent conjuring. So when you actually fall, into people's arms, per se, it is, holding the opposites that you may not always see eye to eye, and that there's extremes of life that just go right down to everything. It's just know that all of you always know already what you need to do when a situation arises. So, with this, I hear there is a little bit of a loosening of a grip on things. Uh, I hear more density with this because it does say coping mechanisms, addiction, and let God in. I hear more density. So when I actually look at the energy of Clearview of this segment of the talk, density actually means just the energy that flows through. It's almost sponge-like. All right. Let's actually look at the Pleiadian Oracle and what else we need to do. All right. There's a lot of taking chances in the communities. There's a lot of leap of faith. There's a lot of expansion of compassion soon, very soon. I hear a lot of forgiveness happening, but I also say there's like centers, like places where people can actually sit and talk about what happened. There's something about this with like universal knowledge that you just can't explain at all. Because when I see Pakal's tomb, when I see the Mayan ruins and all of it, I see places where they go and they sit and they just get it out. They get it out. Light language, that literally is just energy, talking body talk, intuitive talk. It's highly rooted in good light, highly rooted in good light, intuitive light language. Now, when I see this, there's many opportunities of doors opening where you just can't see it coming. And that is where you see this universal heart of the collective come through. So when I actually see the mothership come through, it's not even REM sleep when it comes through to knock on the door in a good way. And we'll see what that means by that. So with that being said, you just can't even do. You just can't even do. All right, lastly with us, it is the Rider White Tarot. Here we go. This is such a completion of a cycle where you sit and look at the world, what comes in so simply that even, animal control sees it like this is what we wanted. When we sit here, I actually do see President Biden making a good decision on something. And everyone nods and says, yes, that was good to cause a pause. We needed a pause on something. because there's no celebration. We just don't understand why there needed to be a pause. So when I actually see unbeknownst to a crossroads, I say, take it. Whenever you have a pause come near you, take it. That is true family contentment. And when I say family, that's collective. There's no steal, though I hear steal in the media. But it was foreseen by many that Hunter Biden would be pardoned, even though the White House said he would not be pardoned. So when that actually alleviates a struggle, you have to understand how does that come down to here? Because there's no celebration to come about that. There was something of a formal ill judgment written to cause that's the universe actually like slamming me in the face, telling me not to say it, but basically it was a hunker down. Like I've been saying, it's a hunker down in the house in the winter. Not in a bad way, I just see snow. And I don't know why the W was left off. So the three of wands goes, there is on the horizon, there really is something, but you just can't do it alone. That is where this passionate new beginning comes in the next, 10 to 14 days, where they're saying there's no skilled work in this whatsoever. It really is truly, I saw it, I heard it, I felt it, I confirmed it every which way, and it's true. And that's all you need to know. So with that being said, that's really all I have to do for Clearview Talk. There's a lot more digging up, but I'm hearing a rest must be due. So we'll talk a little bit more at the end of next week with Clearview again and see what has had to be had and has come through a little bit more because it's just like a trickle leak. It's not the waterfall that I had been anticipating yet through the cards. So with that being said, any questions or comments, go ahead and leave me an email. We'll talk to you soon.